Remember, we mentioned this hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says, "La tasubbu shaitan." Don't curse the shaitan, because when you curse him, he becomes emboldened. He's bigger. He becomes bigger than your house, right? He's proud. Instead, say Bismillah. Just say in the name of Allah, and he will become smaller than a fly. So the Prophet ﷺ gives us very specific examples of how to disarm the shaitan, how to completely take him out of the equation. So he says, for example, when a person enters into their house, if they mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then when they sit down to eat, if they mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then shaitan says to his companions, so the devil, the head devil, says to the rest of the devils, you have no place to spend the night tonight, and you have no food tonight. There is no residence for you, and there is no meal for you. But the Prophet ﷺ says, but if he enters into his home without mentioning the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the shaitan says to his companions, you have found your place to sleep tonight, and you have found your dinner for the evening. Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned that when we become intimate with our spouses, he said, when one of you is about to become intimate, say Bismillah, Allahumma jannibna shaitan, wa jannib shaitana ma razaqtana, which is in the name of Allah, O Allah, protect us from the shaitan, and prevent the shaitan from approaching our offspring. SubhanAllah, I mean, you're thinking about this even as you're about to become intimate with your spouse. You talk about being aware of the shaitan's plan and so on and so forth. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you make that dua, if you were to have a child as a result of that particular moment or that particular encounter, the Prophet ﷺ says, La yadurruhu shaitan, the shaitan would not be able to harm that child. So by you saying Bismillah and invoking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before even your intimacy, shaitan loses any share in your offspring. And if we take it beyond Bismillah, and I know that this is a common thing, there's this idea that if I just play, the tape, well, we don't have tape recorders anymore. If I play the MP3, or if I've got, Quran running in the household and it's blasting out loud, that it's going to run the shayateen away. But you have to do your own recitation. Okay? It's not enough to simply play the audio, and it's good to, you should be listening to it. But that's not enough. You need to be doing your own recitation, because it's not just about clearing the house from the shaitan. It's about purifying your tongue and purifying your heart with the recitation of the Quran, with the recitation of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which is why the Prophet ﷺ said about specifically Surah Al-Baqarah, for example. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not turn your homes into graves. He said, indeed, the shaitan flees from the house that Surah Al-Baqarah is read in. Shaitan would flee from that house, right? He has no place. You choose to read the longest surah in the Quran. Shaitan will run away from your house. Shaitan flees from your house. He also said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, particularly mentioning Ayatul Kursi, right, in the narration of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He also mentioned particularly, he said that whoever recites the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, that will protect him for the night, that will suffice him for the night, as is narrated by An-Nu'man ibn al-Bashir. So, it starts off with the mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then filling your heart with the mention of Allah and the remembrance of Allah, so shaitan has no place in your heart. Filling your thoughts, thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, busying your thoughts with how to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how to better serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through knowledge. Committing yourself to good deeds, pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of these things give shaitan no place in your life. And that's the idea. Don't create room for shaitan. Don't give shaitan room in your life. If you give him that space, he will occupy it, because that's what he's looking for. If you don't give him that space in your heart, in your thoughts, in your house, in your family, shaitan will have no place in your home, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from him.